The Ruckus is bringing the party to the Metro, June 7th and 8th at Adventureland Resort, with Friday headliner Chris Young.
I've got some
Saturday headliner Jake Owen.
Yeah, caught up in a southern sun.
Russell Dickerson, Maddie and Tay, Lauren Elena, Brian Kelly, and more. Festival tickets include access to the theme park and water park. Get your tickets at ruckusiowa.com.
Use code word Steve for 25% discount for weekend VIP and weekend general admission tickets.
All right, welcome to this edition of Morgan You Asked For podcast. We kind of switched tonight. I believe we are live on my YouTube page. So if you want to get to my YouTube page, you can do that and turn into us live. First time, I don't know how this is all going to work. I don't know how it's going to look on YouTube, but we're using new technology, StreamYard. And they have some different tools and stuff for us to try. And we're going to do that tonight. So I'm sure no one on yet because not very many people know we're doing this. And a little bit of this is just a trial run. But hopefully in the future we can get some people to listen and pay attention live and maybe even ask us questions live. I don't know how that all works for sure. But we're going to all learn together. Now, another thing is I'm the one on location tonight. I don't know if Trev can kind of see this. I'm not at my home place. I'm actually at my parents' house. So today was the first day of no school. And what I do in the summers, I get to work for my father in our construction company that we have. And we're tearing apart a couple science rooms at I-35 schools in Truro, which is right next to Hinterland. So we drive right by Hinterland every day now. And so I did that today, moved cabinets and getting ready to tear out more cabinets and stuff tomorrow. So I'm in his office. He, works from home and has a home office and everything. So I'm on location and Trevor's at home tonight. Welcome, Trev.
It's a little weird for you to be somewhere else. It's usually the other way around. But yeah, you can tell I'm at home. You've seen this background plenty of times. So nothing too exciting on my end. But yeah, first day of vacation for you, so you're sounds like you're working. You're supposed to be taking it easy, but you're working.
I'll have enough days off, but I like helping my dad and I like doing it. I left my house at 5:30 this morning. I was in Truro at 7 a.m. So hour and a half drive. So that's another reason I'm staying at my parents. It's only about 25 minutes or so back to work tomorrow, so I don't have to drive an hour and a half every day. So I'll do it enough when things I have to get back for and everything, but nothing I have to get back for tonight. I will go back home tomorrow night. Baseball practice and soccer practice for Tyler and see the kids and everything. So, so doing that, kind of an interesting week in sports. And I know kind of on our first thing isn't really sports related, but it's Iowa State kind of facility talk, the George Strait concert. I went to it on Saturday night. Now, I'll be honest, I have just a little bit different take to this than some others. A lot of people complained about the lines. And I will be the first to tell you there was a lot of lines. I saw them. I did not wait in them. You got to kind of know the system. And obviously, I've had season tickets there for years and years and years. I've been to most games since 1998 there. So the expansion and everything, I know that place like the back of my hand. And the other thing is we took our camper up Friday night and then we left Sunday morning. So I did not have to battle traffic, did not have to battle parking. So those situations, because of relationships that I have, and I want to thank those people able to get me a spot and then, paying a little money. It actually wasn't that bad, but paying a little money and then having access to a camper, which I understand not everybody does. I was able to, that helped my experience as well. I didn't have to fight traffic after, I didn't have to fight traffic before. And then, just in doing that, I want to say, thank you to the Stecks. They had us over. for a beer or so Saturday morning. And then also saw Sitzmas were right next to us as well in the campground, and they were around and saw them too. So several Oskaloosa people were there. And, from my Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat, there were a lot of people there that I knew that I didn't know were going to be there. So there was a lot of people in my circle that were at that concert, which does not surprise me. Little Big Town, Chris Stapleton, George Strait. Okay. Concert started at 5:45 with Little Big Town. We probably left our camper. We were in the RV Village. We walked across the bridge. We probably left at 5 o'clock, maybe a little after, with another couple that were there. Bill and Amy Halloran were there. We walked across with them, and it was a little wait, but overall nothing too bad. And then our tickets were on the opposite side, so we were in section D, so we were on the west side. Now that's where probably the biggest frustration is trying to get all the way across. Probably could have alleviated that a little bit with trying to go to another gate, but I have found that gate by the bridge, there is some time, but they do get through it faster than some of the other gates. And when walking on the south gate, there was a long line, and it looked like it was not going well. So that, again, is just knowing the gates that work the best. So that helped us. Now, fight getting there because of all the beer lines and food lines. Now, I will be honest, I ate a sandwich a little after noon at the camper, and I did not eat at the game, in the stadium. I knew it would suck. I knew the lines would be bad. That was purposeful on my part. I did not want to fight a line for a hot dog or a chicken strips or a corn dog, because I knew that was going to be a line. So I guess, again, that's just me having access to the camper and a sandwich and, drinks and everything. So that was an advantage I had over some others as well. So I did not stand in a food line. Beer, the lines were long, but there were guys walking around, the ones that put them on their head and walk up and down the stairs. Well, you just go, I did this 3 times. You just go find a guy and you buy a beer from him when they're down in the concourse.
Yeah, so they come back.
Yep. So I did that. And so I maybe had to wait for 1 or 2 other guys or girls to buy a beer in front of me. That's how I did not stand in a line. Now, I have a lot of gray hair. There were people that I guess you were supposed to get a wristband. I did not have a wristband, and they sold me beer. I don't know if that was kosher, but that was my experience at George Strait concert. The people were really good. Little Big Town. Obviously we know several of their songs, but they were definitely an opening act. No production, just them and their band playing. Then Chris Stapleton, and he is, one of those that just stands there and sings. But his production wasn't great either, because he was the second act. And then as soon as George Strait came on at 9:15, the lights went on. I mean, it was production after production, and it was really, really good. And he stands there and sings. That is what you get with George Strait. But he sang for 2 hours, maybe even a little bit more than 2 hours, played a lot of hits, played some new stuff, which that's an argument we can have, and maybe a discussion with you, Trevor. But it doesn't matter what he does. He's going to have songs that we all know and love that he can't play. He has 60 number 1 songs. He cannot play 60 songs in a night. Looking at his set list, I think he played 32 songs. So he did his darndest to get a lot of them, and probably played 5 new songs. So he played 28 songs that you knew the words to, that you sang to. And this is just me, and you wonder, and Zach Bryan's the same way. He goes and plays Something in the Orange or Heading South, and then you go play a new song, and everybody's singing with you. You don't really even have to sing. that's got to be just a huge adrenaline rush. It's why you do that. And then you go play a new song that you love, you know it's going to be great, but no one knows it because it isn't released or just not everybody knows it yet. And no one's singing to you. I wonder how that makes them feel a little bit inside. Just, it's got to be weird.
Feel a little bit weird, but like you said, 28, give or take, were songs that we all know. I mean, George Strait, like you said, 60 number ones or whatever it is. He can't sing all of them in one night. I mean, that would be a 5-hour concert. So 4 or 5 new ones, as you mentioned, that sounds about right. And like you said, everyone kind of gets picky on that type of stuff. Some people get upset with the new songs. I like a mix. I'd like to hear at least half I know at minimum and half I don't, or half new. So it sounds like you got a pretty good mix there of songs, and a hell of a lineup.
It was
too,
really good.
Jack Trice Stadium, just in general, to get to see Chris Stapleton beforehand. I mean, I'm interested what the production would have been like if it was flip flopped and Stapleton was last. I would think it'd be a little bit better.
Yes,
as popular as he is,
I truly think it was because he was second. They didn't do the production.
No, that's probably right. I mean, anytime you do these concerts in these stadiums that aren't used to it, there's a lot of concerts out here at the Broncos Stadium and more this year. They're used to doing that. This at Jack Trice it's a special deal. So you talked about the long lines. That's to be expected. If you go into a concert there at Jack Trice like this and you weren't expecting long lines or waits, then you're pretty naive, in my opinion, or you just haven't been to a lot of concerts.
And that's what I was going to get to. I've been to a lot of concerts. Zach Bryan, the 3 times in a row there, all sold out. Now, another thing is, when you go to those places, it's 15 to 20,000 in those, just depending on the arenas. This was probably 55,000 people. So that's over double just the amount of people. And then also, I was not on the floor. I had some friends that were down on the floor, and they had no bathrooms on the floor. So they had to go back up into the stands to go to the regular bathrooms in the concourse. And I don't know if that's an Iowa State deal, a fire marshal thing. There's some things that might be out of Iowa State's control in that. But that was not good. And then the beer lines down on the field did not look good. I'll be honest. And I don't know if they had people walking around selling beer down there. I did not see them, but I was not down there. And then obviously, listen to people. And then it did get dark, so you couldn't see anyway. But so I do think being up a little bit did help. Now, we did kind of move. We didn't have seats with our friends, but we did find kind of an open area. And he kind of looked. And I hadn't heard of this. This is a pretty good strategy. He went and looked up on like SeatGeek or one of the apps that found an open section or where there are empty seats that are better than his that weren't sold. Like they were still for sale. And there was an area about 20, 30 seats that I'm guessing somebody bought and didn't use or tried to sell them and didn't. So we went and sat there and it was really fun. Met some new people. He calls himself a social butterfly. So those of you that know what I'm talking about, that listen to this will know that. And so he talks to everybody and starts meeting them.
That's a pretty good little trick there. I don't know if you should be giving that away.
I had not thought of that either. That's pretty good. So might have to try that at the Zach Bryan concert in Denver.
That's right. That's right. That's coming up in a few weeks. That's a good one. I never thought of that, but that's, you gave, depending on how many people are listening to this, you gave away a good one right there.